Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with the number one podcast in the world, Group Chat. We're back in the studio, so sound quality will be better. We got a lot of messages that the last episode had shitty sound. It must have been our internet connection. We were in our office too, so I don't know why we had bad sound quality. But let's get into it. Last episode of the year. We're saving a big episode for next week, but we didn't want to leave you guys hanging, so let's get into it.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, Group Chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year! How happy are you?
I'm optimistic, cautiously optimistic about 2022.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to say 2021 was sadly, the first 9 months of 21 were probably the worst 9 months I've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
I think with our father passing, all the challenges with just running a business in this environment, having 2 kids and trying to maintain some sort of family life and balance. I was very, very overwhelmed. Probably the first 9 months of this year. The last 3 months have, been a lot better. And, I think I'm a very optimistic person. I went into 2020 and 2021 very excited about the future. And then obviously the pandemic happened. And then I remember just having this conversation exactly a year ago, like roaring 20s, things are going to come back and we're going to have this incredible explosion. And I think that like for some people it was that financially. I would say emotionally and just people's daily life outside of the financial, even the people that thrived financially, 2020, 21 felt like a difficult year for a lot of people. And for me particularly, it was obviously personally. And I think that drove kind of made things harder for me in every other aspect of my life. But I am, I'm cautiously optimistic about 22. But, after the last 2 years, I don't want to be too optimistic.
Yeah, that's just a mindset in life because you kind of just want to stay even keeled. You want to not be like, oh, 2020. I get people who want to say 2022 is my year, my year, my year. Like that's everyone's mantra for every New Year's. And I get the reason to hype yourself up. But if anything's taught us the last 2 years, the mindset that probably is better is like, hey, let's hope for the best. But when the storm comes, how are we going to weather it?
I would say to take that one step further is not just hope for the best. Actually, like think through things and plan the best case, plan the worst case, and actually put together a plan and try to execute it. Because I think the challenge, specifically with entrepreneurs, is that like you have to be delusionally optimistic to be an entrepreneur.
So I think we should actually categorize it to 2 different things. Personal life and business life.
Yeah.
Because personal life largely is out of your control.
Completely out of your control.
Whether it's health of yourself, family members, whatnot. You don't have control over that.
Yeah, exactly.
So that, I think the personal mindset is like, hey, don't go, like, just be even keeled.
Yeah.
That's I think has helped me the most. But yeah, business mindset is you have to be delusional if you're an entrepreneur. And if you're trying to, create new opportunities for yourself, I think you have to ignore the noise, and the noise being people telling you can't do it.
Yeah.
And it's on you ultimately to work your ass off and put yourself in positions where you have the opportunity to make a new life from a financial standpoint.
And I think, when it comes, put aside the personal, but on the career or entrepreneurship side of things, it's like, I think the biggest thing that I see with a lot of people who say, oh, this is my year, it can be your year, but be self-aware of where you are at this stage, where you are at life, where you are in your career, and know there's only, unfortunately, there's still gravity. Like it's not just straight up.
Well, I think the biggest thing that 2020 and 2021, especially for young people, was the era of the shortcut.
Yeah.
Right? It's
mint this NFT, get rich.
Mint the NFT, get early in a token sale.
Get a stimulus check.
Buy crazy options on Robinhood.
Yeah.
And I think people are realizing like it doesn't exist.
No.
You can hit the lotto 100%.
Yes.
You could be the one person that bought Solana at 10 cents and now it's $200 and your life changed.
I haven't met that person. So I've met a lot of people that have made money, like really good money. I made a few $100,000. I made $1 million, maybe $2 million, whatever, right? I have not met the guy that bought Solana at 10 cents and made $200 million. I haven't met that yet. So I don't know how many people like that exist. I have not come across. I've met a lot of people who have done really, really well. But I could argue you could go do that, in your career also. You can do that in other places. And I think it's always the example that I like to use is when people quit from working with us, they often go on their entrepreneurial journey and thinking that's the goal, the roads to riches. And what usually ends up happening is you have twice the amount of work, stress level 50 times, and you probably make less money in the early days. Not to say you cannot do well down the line, but I think the challenge is that we live in this total shortcut world, because when you go on your phone and you read about what other people are doing, it makes you feel bad that you didn't accomplish that. Even my own peers, when they're bragging about their things, like, oh, I did this, we just crossed, whatever in sales, or we just did this today. That instant reaction, even for me, and I know it's bullshit, and I know how hard they worked to get to that point. It even for me, for a moment, makes me feel like, fuck, what did I do? Like, I didn't get that. And I think you can use that as motivation, but you should also be fully aware that those people are playing a game. The game is to make you feel like you're not doing something so that they feel superior in whether protecting their brand, raising money, selling their business. Everyone's got a game plan here. And social media, I think, drives people fucking nuts when it comes to specifically, I know it affects all parts of life, but I think for entrepreneurs, it's even more gut-wrenching because you're like, oh shit, Joey just got a plane.
It's basically everyone made it but you.
Yes. And the reality is that's not the case, because I'm meeting with insane amount of entrepreneurs every single day. And what they tell me privately, it's not good.
Right.
And they're telling me their struggles, and it's hard to find people that you could be transparent to. And I think going into this year, you got to be cautious. We always say, don't idolize people you don't know. So don't look up to businesses you haven't looked under the hood under it also, because it will drive you nuts.
Yeah, I think what I've learned and reinforced in the way I think about business is the shortcut way of thinking. And I'm not going to lie, when DeFi NFTs were going nuts, I was like, how did I miss this?
Yeah.
I've been in this space for over a decade, and how did I miss this right in front of me? And what I realized after seeing a lot of the projects, and obviously massive corrections in certain projects, some projects that are just flat out scams, and I realized this isn't for me.
Yeah.
The only thing that's worked for me is have a 10-year horizon on an investment.
And just hold it.
Yes.
You're a hold guy.
And the only things that have been financial windfalls for me was believe in have strong conviction on either a business founder, an investment, and sit tight.
Yeah. And that works for you. And so part of what I was saying was, I see a lot of people going into the Web3 thing, which if that's what you believe in, go fucking for it. That's fine. I have no problem with that. The amount of time they're spending, I don't think if you add it up, it's like if you add up.
So let's take your run club, for example. Young kids, largely under 30 for the most part.
Yeah.
Mostly entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
How much time did they take away from their core of whatever they were trying to build, and then for 6 months just did NFTs and DeFi?
I think for males, it's just proportionate high. I think women are a little bit more smart. Like, okay, this sounds interesting, but like this sounds like a bunch of fuckery. But for a lot of males, it's a full distraction. Every male I know that's under, call it 30, is doing something with NFTs and crypto all fucking day, all night.
Yeah.
And that is such, and maybe when you look at this year, you're net positive and you're like, look, maybe I made an extra 50 grand, 100 grand, whatever it is. But a lot of these folks are entrepreneurs. You could have added millions of dollars of net worth
in your core business.
If you just focused. And I'm a victim of that myself, where like the lack of focus is actually like, because at the end of the day, it's not because these people are ultra passionate about decentralization. They're passionate about fucking money.
Of course.
So if that's what it is, then like you should be really focused on what you've made. Like when we used to launch brands, we'd have like a $5 million brand and we'd be like, oh, this is great. Let's go launch another one. And we were like, we're going to launch 5 brands. It's so much easier for us to take that 5 to 10 than to launch 5 brands and get them to $1 million.
Yep.
It's fucking impossible. Once you have a $5 million business, it's easier to take it to 10 to 15 to 20, but we end up in this like rat race of like newness and chasing things. And then all of a sudden you're like, I didn't make any money. And I spent, by the way, a disproportionate of my time chasing a lottery ticket.
Yeah. And I'll be pretty upfront with the crypto stuff. Like, I'll dabble in it, but I'm not focusing on trying to find, every single DeFi protocol that's going to like be the next Ethereum killer or whatnot. And I don't know. I think when we saw what was really eye-opening was when we talked about the podcast, and I've gotten so many messages about this, the insider token sales for all the protocols that were supposed to change the world.
Yeah.
Solana, oh my God, this is the greatest thing of all time. Avalanche, blah, blah, blah. It was literally just VCs and crypto influencers that made billions of dollars.
Yeah.
They're the ones. They're the 10-cent buyers. You said you haven't met them? Yeah. Well, guess what?
Yeah. It's the same people.
Yeah.
It's the same people that made $1 billion on Amazon
Airbnb
stock 10 years ago.
There's the same people who made money on Airbnb. It's the same people who made on all these things. So those people are insiders.
Yeah.
It's no different. What we've learned with crypto, I'll call this crypto 2.0. It's crypto 1.0 is just Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Yeah.
Actually, crypto 1.0 is Bitcoin and Ethereum. Crypto 2.0 was ICO scams.
Yeah.
And those individuals being the scammers.
Yeah.
And crypto 3.0 is
everyone being scammers.
not even scammers. The same institutions that made in Web 2.0 made billions.
Yeah.
In this new last year.
I'll tell you my experience. The only money I made in crypto, NFT land, all that was the Ethereum I bought at a very low price last year.
Yep.
No, in 2019. That's it. I didn't make money on anything else. Everything I lost money on.
Cardano. I gave you that.
Oh, yeah. You did give me Cardano. Yeah, I did money. I made money there. But I didn't make any, even if like that one was a small dollar amount, but it was great. But like, yeah, for the most part, like any NFT bullshit, DeFi bullshit, it all ended badly.
Yeah. And if you want to be in that game, it's a 20-hour a day game.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, because I
like the way the NFTs move, like you can mint something for 0.27. It'll be 2.5 by midnight. At 3 a.m., it's 1.2 ETH.
And it's gone. And you never hear about it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you have that kind of stamina, then you have to cut your core business and just do this all day.
Yeah.
I think you can make money in this space, but it's 20 hours a day.
Yeah, it's all day, every day. And
you go to sleep and your NFT gets fucking crushed.
Yeah.
You're going to wake up broke.
Yeah.
Everyone decide what they want to do.
Yeah. Happy New Year. On that note, so next week, we're going to have our buddy, Zach White from Sinai Ventures on. And I think we're going to make it a predictions episode.
Yeah, I think predictions and maybe awards. Or we just do predictions.
Let's do predictions.
We've done this every year, so I know there's other podcasts doing this shit. We're not copying anyone. We've been doing this for 3 years. 4 years.
Yeah. We've been doing predictions and winners for a lot. We used to do a proper award show.
Yeah.
Like, dress up.
Yeah, remember Danny was in a tux.
But yeah, we'll do predictions. And I think that'll be fun. So that'll be Tuesday of next week.
Yep.
All right, let's get into some news. Elon Musk somehow avoided the chip shortage. How the hell did he do that?
I think he's just better.
Yeah.
So every car company, if you've tried to buy a car in the last year, and I've had to buy a new one because we have a second kid, it is hell.
Yep.
And the cars, actually the new cars, and I've talked to a tow truck driver, they're all breaking down because in the interest of getting cars out as quickly as possible, they're using alternate chips from different vehicle makes, models, and it obviously doesn't work with the software. But with Tesla, what it seems like is Elon's software engineers, who I'm sure he pays way more than every other competitor in the car space, have figured out how to adjust the software to basically work with whatever chips that were available.
Wow.
And other companies just don't have that capability.
The engineering power.
So it seems like Elon, skated through this.
By the way,
with everything.
Every third person I talk to is like, I sold my car to car trackers and bought a Tesla. I sold my car to car trackers and bought a Tesla. Everyone, I talked to someone yesterday who bought two.
Two Teslas?
Two Teslas. Someone we know very well. And I was like, why did you buy two? I was like, he's like, I don't know. I sold my car to car trackers and I had a bunch of money. So I just bought two.
Yeah, Elon, competing against Elon, like I know and all the other car manufacturers are going to have electric cars. But if you just think long term, like as long as he's engaged.
Yeah. That's the one risk for that company. Yeah. One day he just wakes up.
Key man risk.
Yeah.
In everything he's involved. As long as he's engaged.
That's a lot of things, right? A lot of these businesses have severe key man risk.
And then at the same token, I just got an alert. 475,000 Teslas have been recalled due to technical defects. So maybe this article is bullshit.
Okay, forget it. Erase everything we just said. Maybe this guy has no idea what he's doing. Maybe his software is bullshit and these chips are... I'm sorry for my friend who just bought two. He just bought two bogus-ass cars.
How funny is that? We put this article, read it, talk, praise, and literally get an alert right at the same time.
Oh my God. Okay, well, the other thing on the engineering front, I saw Apple announced yesterday or Tuesday, they're giving engineers between $50,000 and $180,000 bonuses immediately. Like that day, they were doling out checks because Zuck stole 100 engineers this year, they said.
From Apple?
Yes.
Oh my God.
And so in fear of defection, they started giving out bonuses. So here's another fun fact that I have not confirmed this, but I have read this. I read it in Reddit, so I don't want to make sure it's gospel. Oculus sold more than Xbox in 2021.
I think I saw a tweet with that stat.
I could not verify who said that.
Yeah.
And if it's valid, but if it's in the same conversation, and I know Xbox people own it, and you don't need a new one every year, blah, 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 blah. What if, here's a crazy prediction. What if Oculus ends up being the iPhone for Web3?
It certainly could.
Then Facebook is the most undervalued stock.
Yeah, I said this on the last pod. Don't ever doubt Zuck.
Yeah.
Oh, the only thing that can take him out by the knees is regulation. And they're trying so hard. And letting TikTok eat into Instagram is obviously hurting them. But that's like a US government problem, which is completely stupid.
Yeah.
Like you make Zuck sit in front of Congress defending Instagram and Facebook, but TikTok's just ravaging the country.
Yeah.
TikTok is COVID-19.
It is.
Digitally.
Digital COVID-19.
Yes. And it's
more contagious than Omicron.
Yeah, it's more contagious than Omicron.
It is way more contagious. One person gets on TikTok, you're on it for life. At least Omicron's 4 days and it's gone. You're stuck for life. You're getting brainwashed.
It's absolutely ridiculous that we don't see this like in plain sight. This is almost as similar as like how we were screaming about supply chain 2 years ago. Like, hey, this is already bubbling. We're hearing from factories, hearing from ports. And 2 years later, we don't have a Christmas.
Yeah.
So,
Christmas.
and I wanted to bring a point about like Apple and Facebook paying all these salaries, because there's this like conception that everyone, the shortcut generation that don't want to work at these companies. We'll give a personal example. Our cousins work at Amazon and Apple. One works at AWS. Immigrants. They
Yes.
studied in India, came here. They live in Cupertino, San Jose. They work at Amazon and Apple. They are very talented engineers. They're already millionaires.
Millionaires. They bought a plus $1 million home already.
And I think,
What are they?
how long have they been in this country?
5 years? 4
Max?
Yeah. And they came from zero.
Yeah, they came from absolute zero.
Yeah.
So in 10 years, I mean, we're tens of millions.
Yeah.
And there's a surefire way. If you just accumulate Apple stock, Facebook stock, Amazon stock, Google stock, you will be a millionaire.
100%.
You don't have to always chase the next hot startup, the next crypto protocol.
Yeah.
So I think talent's going to diverge. You're going to have talent that is the get rich quick, try to get to the hottest startup.
Go to Web3.
Go to Web3, go to NFTs, whatnot. But hey, if you're just like conservative and you're a very smart person.
You're just like, hey, you know what? I just want to be worth 10 million.
Yeah, I just want a house in San Francisco and a house in Tahoe and a house in Aspen. And you could do that if you just sit your ass at Apple or Amazon.
Yes. And don't fucking leave ever.
Yeah.
By the way, like those companies, because I have friends who are high up at like some of these companies, they get paid so much money. They do fucking nothing.
Yeah, they don't leave.
And by the way, they're having kids left and right.
Yeah.
Every kid is 6 months, 12 months for both the parents.
Wait, say that again?
Paternity, maternity leave.
Oh yeah, you get 6
So like if you're strategic and you work at Facebook and you go bang out 3 kids in a row, you don't have to work for 3 years.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting because I think there's enough people that are just like, hey, I'm just guaranteed $10 million if I stay here for 10 years.
Yeah.
Why am I chasing these shiny objects?
Well, yeah, I mean, it goes back to, the saying like the millionaire next door. We'll sit and we'll be around all this sexy, flashy, like people doing all this stuff. And then people like our parents who just shut up and dribbled, worked their ass off, grew up in the corporate ranks. And then when they retire, they're more liquid than fucking 99% of the population.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because I would never have thought that growing up. I mean, we didn't think we had any money growing up. And, now they're retired and it's like, wow, they're very, very comfortable. And I think that's like everyone's goal, right? When you're done working, you don't have to worry about money. You could just enjoy your family, enjoy your kids, grandkids, whatever it is. And I think this get rich quick thing, here's the thing. The bubble even hasn't bursted yet and people haven't made crazy amounts of money.
No, the bubble in these new crypto projects have absolutely not bursted.
Exactly. So when that happens, then like people are excited about what happened last year, which was like an anomaly. It's going to get dark.
Think about this. Bitcoin and Ethereum have corrected by 90% 3 times in the last 10 years. 90%.
And in a very short period of time.
Yeah. And they have utility.
Yeah.
Bitcoin is buy-in from
mass adoption. Yeah.
Governments, from institutions, from Fidelity, from, you name it. And Ethereum actually has utility. We have no idea if any of these new projects that everyone's like, one day it's Polygon, one day it's Solana, one day it's Avalanche, one day it's Polkadot. Those don't even like have any utility yet.
Yeah.
At scale, they don't.
Yeah. Well, forget that. That's not even the real problem I have. Actually, I think you could probably take a basket of currency on the crypto side and feel like you have good exposure for the next 5-10 years. I'm more worried about, there is one of the DeFi projects I invested in. It went to zero. I looked it up the other day. 0.00.
Yeah.
Zero. That's zilch.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing. NFTs, every single one except one that I've purchased is down 95%. 95%.
That's a lot of percent.
Yeah. One went to zero. One was at 100%. That was at 95%. And so we when you actually, I remember one year where I thought I made money in the stock market, trading and doing all this. And then I got the tax return from TD Waterhouse or whatever the fuck I was using to trade, Charles Schwab. And I made like $1,000. And I thought I had made all this money.
Right.
And I think when you actually do the math and you look, did you actually, there 100% people made money. There's no doubt in my mind. A lot of people made money. A lot of people made a lot of money. It's just, this was also, you know, up into the right year.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be up into the right every year. It's going to be down and to the left some years. And so when that happens, what's going to happen to our
there's
world?
likely in these outside protocols, there's going to be a winter for sure.
Yeah.
Coming. I don't know if it's in the next 6 months or 12 months.
Yeah.
Because it happened before. History repeats itself.
Yeah, it always does.
Always does.
And I'll give you an example. There's a crypto group trying to buy Blockbuster for $5 million and turn it into a streaming service. So fundamentally, this is a bad idea.
Yes.
First of all, what does $5 million get you? The fucking name?
Yeah, and the Dish Network paid $320 million for Blockbuster. So
Okay.
you're not even going to get it. But this is like...
Okay, yeah. So this is just that. And then on top of that, okay, who is funding the $12 billion to make content to compete with anyone else?
$12 billion annually.
Annually.
If Netflix spends $15 to $20 billion
So you need at least 10 to be in the game. So where's that coming from?
to even be Peacock, you probably need $7 billion.
Yeah, right? Peacock, no one's watching Peacock. And that's at least a few $1 billion. At least they got sports and shit.
Yeah.
I mean, just like these projects, a bunch of people are going to go spend a bunch of money on it. And like, I would love to know how much money, I'm sure you're able to calculate this, in 2021 went to gas fees. How many billions?
Yeah, you could probably find that stat somewhere.
I mean, just think about that. That has gone into the...
Yeah, I think Etherscan probably has that stat.
Yeah. Can you imagine that? Like, if you saw some businesses had a dip this year, it's an Etherscan.
Yeah.
That's interesting. But yeah, I mean, it's just a dumb idea. Don't buy Blockbuster and don't turn it into a streaming service.
Yeah, this is just like some DAO that's being created that went viral on Twitter.
Yeah, you should not give money to this. This is a bad idea. If they're saying we're raising $50 billion to create a streaming service, I'm like, okay, and who's going to run it? Because you better steal the senior vice president at Netflix, because a bunch of people starting a DAO have no idea what it takes to run a streaming service.
Yeah, no, I think it's so funny how quickly the youth changes too. Remember, we started this year with GameStop, AMC, what were the other ones? Hertz.
Yeah, and now we're going to go buy Blockbuster.
No, but no one even mentions those names anymore.
No. Nothing. You don't talk about any of those companies. I've not heard those names.
Yeah, even Portnoy, is he even day trading anymore? Is he done?
I mean, he's quiet. He's quiet.
Yeah, he seems like he peaked in 2020.
Yeah, that was his year.
I mean, he's going to be rich. I'm not.
Well, here's the thing is...
I'm just saying from a social zeitgeist, he felt so relevant in 2020.
Here's the problem is once you enter that sphere, it's impossible to maintain it.
Yeah.
It's too much effort. And now he's really rich. So like, he's like, why am I still walking around getting pizza everywhere? I mean,
he's still doing the pizza reviews.
Maybe he genuinely enjoys pizza, but all the other content he was doing, it's just too much.
Yeah. He launched a frozen pizza, which I'm sure is doing great.
Yeah. He's going to he'll be fine and he'll make tons of money.
I just think it's so funny. I think his pizza is... Because his whole thing is everyone knows the rule, one bite only. So you buy this big frozen pizza and it's one bite only. You're supposed to throw the rest of it away.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't seem like he's like a sustainability guy. Here's a really interesting stat. Walmart draws $1 in $4 on click and collect in 2021. So that is people that buy something online and want to pick it up in store or curbside. That's unbelievable. That's so, I mean, one company has 25% of this is just absolutely bananas. So they believe that the sales in this is 20 billion in just for Walmart and click and collect.
So
20 billion.
So in 2022, they're saying it's going to be $101 billion, the click and collect industry.
Yeah.
So that many people want to just click
And collect.
and collect instead of just click and sit your ass at home with free shipping.
No, because if you want it right away, you have to click. So like right now,
Like what things? I'm trying to think other than like your kid's sick and you needed some sort of medicine.
I'll
You
give you
go
an example.
to CVS.
Container Store. We just did it.
You click and collected.
Clicked and collected.
But why didn't you just click and wait? I get go to the container store because you
Haley wanted it right away.
you want to evaluate your different options and you want to walk away with it the same day.
She was like, you gotta go click and collect.
So you went to the Grove?
Went to the Grove.
It must have been a disaster.
No, I went early in the morning. There's no one there. Right when it opened, there's a little parking lot for the parking spots for the click and collect crew.
Okay.
They bring it out to your car.
That's good.
It is very convenient. I'll be honest. Like if you just need it fast. Here's the thing. Like I was telling you, we're thinking about going on Friday to Mountain High to take Dominic to see some snow.
That's a click and collect situation.
Okay, let me tell you how hard I've been clicking trying to collect. He doesn't have any snow, anything, whatever. We need boots. We got to have proper shoes and gloves, and, just basic stuff otherwise the snow is just a miserable experience.
Yep, especially for a 4-year-old.
Yeah. Try to do anything on Amazon. January 12th, January 8th, there's nothing. So I'm like, fine, whatever. Like, I'll just go to REI or Dick's Sporting Goods. We live in West Hollywood. There's nothing around us. I went to the Big Five here, obviously. Slammed, by the way.
Really?
Completely slammed with people. Nothing. I then drive to Burbank, which is a 30-minute drive.
You went from this Big Five to Burbank.
Pouring rain. Pull up to REI. It was like they were Black Friday giving away free shit. Could not believe how many people were there. Not one shoe in stock for kids. Not one shoe that's winter friendly. Then I drive to Dick's in Glendale.
Okay.
Nothing. They had one shoe that was on the model shoe, size 12. He's a 9. And it's like, look, clearly returned and used. He's like, this is all we got. We got this one shoe left. Do you want it?
So do you think that's supply chain or just that many kids in the snow this year?
I think it's both. I think it is demand. I actually do believe that we saw probably the most amazing snowfall in the last month, which I don't think LA had that last year or the year before. So I think
there's just a race to get your kids.
Yeah, and then I'm sure there is some supply chain stuff because online you can't get anything anytime soon. But I was trying to click and collect everywhere. So I was like, maybe it's bullshit. I'm just going to go to these stores. And yeah, I mean, all over town I went to.
So you spent the whole day driving around?
I did at night too.
Oh.
After work.
Wow. It's aggressive.
Yeah. And it was
So did you find anything?
I got nothing.
So are you still going?
Right now we're 50-50 on going. I was like, because it's just, we know if he doesn't have, like, specifically, we got everything else. We just need boots now. So if at least we could find boots, then he's not going to enjoy it if his feet are freezing.
You don't have any friends with kids similar
Yes,
age?
I have one, Sid. His kid's size 12.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we haven't been in the snow in 2 years,
So yeah.
we don't have anything.
Yeah. Sid gave a good advice. He was like, you're going to look really ghetto and your picture's going to suck, but take a plastic bag and just rubber band it over his shoes. I was like, you're right. That's not going to work for me.
You want the picture.
Yeah, I mean, the picture with the plastic bag and like, we can't provide a decent pair of shoes for a kid. Come on. No chance.
So with the Walmart number, there's the Amazon number, which is even more impressive, is they capture 50 cents of every new dollar that's spent on the internet, period, in the US.
That's insane.
So they're 50% capture of all internet spend in America.
Web3, my nuts.
That's like a staggering stat.
That's scary. They must be stopped.
Honestly, that number I heard 12 months ago, so it could be 55% at this point.
Break them up.
It's not 45, I'll tell you that much.
No.
It only increased.
Yeah.
How many Amazon packages every listener have daily?
Oh my God, all day.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can't even, it's hard to, unless it's a specific brand or product, it's just the convenience is just.
There's a reason why Bezos was able to buy a $78 million house in Kona that, what do you think he goes to once a year? Twice? I don't think he's going 5 times.
Nah, he might be going more. Lauren might like to surf.
He just wants to keep his shirt off too.
Yeah. Why would you buy a house in Aspen when you could take your shirt off in Hawaii?
I'm sure he has a house in Aspen.
But it's cold when you take your shirt off in Aspen.
Yeah, he also has a house in Yellowstone Club.
That's freezing. That's interesting. Well, I mean, look, it just goes to show these bigger companies are just getting way bigger. They're actually out executing most startups.
It's just, I think Amazon, it's interesting. Like, if you're an Amazon seller, you're effectively a small business, right? And they give you the scale immediately. They give you the fulfillment, don't they? They give you everything.
Yeah.
So all you have to do is be a good merchandiser.
I have to be a good marketer still.
Good marketer and good merchandiser.
Yeah.
But they take the blocking and tackling part of...
Yeah. You don't have to collect payments. You don't have to ship the product. You don't have to do customer service.
I'm curious, the Amazon seller versus the Shopify seller.
Like, the Shopify seller is in full-blown depression.
Yeah, because...
It's too hard.
Not only is it too hard, marketing is... It's all DTC brands that rely on Facebook.
Yeah. And by the way, yeah, you're probably using a 3PL. You know, you have probably, a number of staff members compared to like an Amazon seller. The challenge with the Amazon seller today, because I'm pretty familiar with the space, very hard for net new seller to come into the market and make noise unless it's like a product market fit category, like perfect timing. Like you saw something and you were like an early seller of it on Amazon. So it is hard to get scale quickly. But if you're patient and you can go slow and you build the reviews and you build your customer, you can, being an Amazon seller still works. It still works for a great small business.
Yeah, because the issue with D2C, and we've experienced this for a decade now, there's a certain point where the math just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Unless you go viral.
Yeah.
And who's going viral?
Nobody is. I mean, if you look at all the companies that went public in the D2C space, most of their economics are not good.
Correct.
I actually don't think any of them were good.
Yeah, they're venture backed, so they get exits.
Yeah.
But if you're an independent person, there's no exit.
Yeah.
You have to rely on cash flow.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, I'm curious to see how the D2C brands shake out in 2022. I think it's going to be a very tough year. I think a soft consumer, supply chain. I mean, I just got a boat quote for March. It was $15,000 for a container.
That's normally $2,500.
It used to be, yeah. We know those prices.
No, those
are
are
never
like
come
the old school price. 2019 prices.
Yeah,
was $2,500.
Even 2020, they were that cheap.
That's 6x.
Yeah, and that's 20. This is 2022 March. It is 2 years after the pandemic, and it's $15,000 still. So that means
7x,
supply chain is not going to improve on the shipping side, guaranteed for the first 6 months of next year, and then back half of next year. I think that what happens is the demand drops, the consumer continues to soften, Facebook continues to, like, there is nothing popping up to replace Facebook. An easy solution. I can give you a complex solution. You got to do influencers and affiliates and SEO,
blah, blah.
community. Okay, great.
That takes 5 years.
It takes 5 years. Nothing's going to happen fast. So there isn't a quick fix for the D2C brands. So a lot of them will start doing wholesale. A lot of them will find different pockets. These guys are all hustlers, and I'm sure that people will figure it out. I just don't think the businesses are going to be as big anymore. Like you just have to come to reality that your business is probably going to be smaller next year.
Yeah, I think you're saying costs are rising. Consumers have no more stimulus, so they aren't going to spend.
No.
Yeah, I see your point.
Well, we'll have to see. But with that being said, we're going to get to some sports talk. Before we talk about the sad news, I'm in 2 fantasy football leagues. One of the leagues I won last year.
Mm-hmm.
My other league, I'm in the finals, and I'm facing Brian Toll.
The loser league, right?
very generously called the fucking loser league, which
in our circles, it's called the loser league.
because you guys are not invited.
Right.
Yes. Well, you and John.
Yeah. Turgeon.
Me
Me and John Turgeon have been boxed out of this league. So to us, this is the loser league.
To you, it's the loser league. And Brian and I are faced off. And, you know, here's the one thing I want to talk about CBS Fantasy Sports. They made a huge mistake on me. They said I had the worst draft. They said I was the worst team all season. They never put me in the power rankings. I, want to go ahead and said I played Anthony Saleh last week in our fantasy football league. I won by 112 points. 112 points. I scored 201 points.
Who's on your team?
So Justin Jackson was a nice little pickup.
The Chargers receiver.
Chargers running back.
Running back, sorry.
Patty Mahomes.
Yeah. You're a Patty guy.
I'm a big Patty guy. Mark Andrews.
The tight end for the Ravens.
Yeah. And then...
Anthony had him in our league and just crushed me in the semis.
Oh, okay.
Or quarters, sorry.
Is he in the finals?
No, he's not. No, he's not in the finals.
Okay. And then Jalen Waddle.
Waddle, the receiver.
Yep. Just blue collar guys out here making big plays.
I hate to admit it. You're weirdly really good at fantasy. I'm a
bargain hunter.
I spend, I think, a significantly more amount of time.
I didn't even know. I wasn't too sure if Waddle's first name was Jalen.
And somehow you've won a league last year, and you have a chance to win another league this year. I've been playing fantasy football since college. Okay, college.
Yeah.
What is that? 17, 18 years?
Yeah.
And then this main league that we're in was, I think, 10, 11 years. I've never won once.
You know what my one...
Think about that. 20 years. I can't win a fucking league.
I'll tell you the one thing. I think everyone in the first round is a bum. That's my thesis on fantasy football. They're all injured always.
You like the Christian McCaffreys?
Yeah, everyone. You remember when I don't want to go on a sidetrack of fantasy football, but I remember when it was all about the running backs. It's not about the running backs anymore. It's about the receivers now.
Yeah.
And there's tons of good receivers that get points. So, maybe I'm a mensch when it comes to fantasy football.
I also think you always make picks in the leagues that we've been in together that everyone's like
laughing at me,
laughing out loud.
Yeah, they're like, you're a loser. Yes,
and they turn out
the big trade I gave away. I gave away Justin Jefferson in one league.
Yeah, and it somehow works out for you. So kudos to you.
Yeah, I'm looking for blue collar guys, vaccinated, that are reliable. I need Cooper Kupp to get maybe put on the reserve list this weekend. No.
Yeah. Cooper Kupp is the best receiver in the NFL right now.
On that note, really sad news. John Madden passes away at 85 years old. It's, watching football and obviously playing Madden as a kid, he is like a iconic figure. And I was thinking to myself, like, he's 85 years old. He was just this larger than life figure in pop culture. In sports today, can you have those types of figures still? Like, who's a modern day John Madden?
So the only person I think that has a shot, at least for the NFL, is Tony Romo.
What about Peyton Manning?
I could see them losing interest.
Like whatever.
I mean, they didn't even do 16, 17 weeks. They took like 4 weeks off in the middle.
Maybe.
But Tony Romo seems like he's going to be doing this for 30 more years. I think he makes 15 to 20 million bucks a year to work 3 hours a week.
Yeah, I think with the thing with Madden, he had a game.
Yeah, the game mattered.
Like kids knew who he was.
We all knew his voice. Like there's a line that has always stuck with me through childhood. It's like, what can you say about little work done?
Yeah.
And he has these lines that if you played Madden, we played Madden. I mean, I played it all of my teenage years, all of college. And then obviously after college, I stopped playing video games. But everyone.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like in basketball.
It's probably not, you're not going to replicate it.
Yeah.
Because if you think about in basketball, Mike Breen, Van Gundy, and Mark Jackson have called some of the most iconic moments in the last decade. They did the whole Warriors run, LeBron run,
Yeah.
the Heatles run,
Yeah.
and I don't think anyone like kind of associates them,
No.
right?
Yeah. I don't think so. That's what I'm saying. I think it's a very unique. He was a unique person for sports.
I mean, could it be Al Michaels? But
but like the thing is you have to have a pop culture element that can gravitate and bring other walks of life together. Otherwise, you're a sports commentator, and that's not what John Madden was. He was so much bigger than that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, the game was game changing.
Yeah,
he's basically in history of sports forever.
Yeah, because that game will exist
Forever.
Yeah,
NFL's not going anywhere.
no, and neither's Madden.
No.
Yeah, very interesting. But RIP, great life. I mean, 85 is a pretty full life, and I'm sure he had like just insane experience. I mean, he never flew, right? That was his.
No, yeah, he always drove the Madden bus.
Yeah, and that's why, like on Monday Night Football for the next week, he'd be on the
Yeah, he had to be on the road.
Yeah, I remember he'd be like, "All right, see you, John. See you next week." He's like, if they were in Miami and then they had to come to LA, like poor guy. But yeah, it's super interesting. Incredible life. Moving on. So Omicron, whatever, Omarion is now spreading all throughout the country. Record cases, blah, 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 whatever. CDC is changing their mind every 5 seconds. The one thing CDC says that I agree with, avoid cruises regardless of vaccination status.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you should just avoid cruises, period.
I mean,
In a general cruise, what percentage of people are getting sick pre-pandemic? 30%?
probably. And then how many times, I mean, growing up, we'd watch like the nightly news with Tom Brokaw. I've always remembered like this cruise line had to pull over because there was a
E. coli scare.
Yeah, there was a food scare and everyone got like some sort of stomach problem. Doesn't seem like a very hygienic place to begin with.
Yeah.
And then it's an old population.
Which, yeah, why, if you're old, why do you want to go in a place that like potentially
What's the appeal of cruises?
all you can eat?
Our dad was dying to go on cruises.
Yeah, I think they went on one.
They went on a couple. Didn't they do Alaska one?
Alaska, yeah. I think for old people, it's simplicity, right? Like if you want to do something, it's available to you. The meals are planned. It's like you're going to a stop. You have the option to get out, go see it. Because I get it from a simplicity standpoint. It kind of gives you everything you need without actually planning. Because like if you just go show up somewhere, it's just a pain. You got to plan it. You got to do some homework. And if you're older, do you really care? Like whatever.
You want the tour guide.
Yeah.
Who's on the tours? It's older people.
Yeah, exactly.
They want it all solved for.
Yeah, exactly. And then like, oh, by the way, let's everyone get back on the boat, go have lunch, come back. Yeah, but it's quite interesting. But I actually got my booster yesterday.
Okay, good.
Got it at CVS, and it's pretty funny, like just watching people go to a pharmacy, and then all of a sudden, like when I went there was no one there. I was the only person there. Went up and said I have an appointment. She's like, great. All of a sudden, like 10 people show up. It says vaccination line only. And the lady goes, oh, are you here for a vaccination shot? She goes, no. I'm like, why the fuck are you in this line? Like 4 other people proceeded to go and talk to her, which I had to wait 10 minutes because these idiots who clearly like did not have an appointment.
Yeah.
Like, you know how much time is wasted because people are fucking morons? Like, the same way you can calculate how much ether was burnt into society with the ether scan, we should track, because morons exist, how much time is wasted by humanity. Like, I got minutes of my life taken from me because 4 people couldn't read a sign that said vaccination line.
I believe it. CVSs are tough.
All pharmacies are tough.
Specialty pharmacies are great.
Yeah. Because, well, I think the people are very specifically going there and they know the routine.
Yeah.
Your average Joe that walks in, hey, where do you get ointment?
Yeah, and like people will go to the pharmacy at CVS and ask where the Advil is, which is a non-prescription drug.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you ask the CVS worker?
I'm trying to think, what did I ask recently? I was at a Rite Aid. Oh, a pen.
You went and asked the pharmacist?
No, I went and asked the cashier.
If you ask the pharmacist, then you're the moron.
Yeah, exactly. The cashier would be like, do you guys sell pens here? It was interesting. I wanted to get some holiday cards, and I went to, we were in Orange County with the in-laws, and I went to the store, went to Whole Foods, and I went to go purchase, there was in the back, or in the front, they had holiday cards, so I pick it up. The lines are so long. It's like day before Christmas. Their self-checkout line is 50 people deep. And I sat there for a brief moment. I'm like, should I just steal this?
Go back to your youth.
Go back to my youth, steal this greeting card, and just go on with my day and not have any guilt. I actually put it back down. And then I went to Staples. That place, I don't understand how it exists. They have nothing. They don't have greeting cards. I mean, to find a pen was so hard. I left there and finally ended up at a Rite Aid to get a pen and a card. Oh my God, it's funny. Anyways, all right, moving on. Let's wrap this up. Head over and do winners, losers, content recommendation. I don't want to do winner and loser of the year because we may save that for Tuesday, but winner of the week, Anand, what do you got?
The Hundreds.
Wow.
So the Hundreds launched a collection last night and in the metaverse.
Oh.
So physical and in the metaverse.
That. I did see that.
And Bobby tweeted they sold out of both.
Wow.
On the day that they launched.
That's unbelievable.
And I know you're much closer to them than I know them, but I've known them since we've been in clothing. And I think this is one of the, in terms of streetwear, I've never seen a better pivot.
Yeah. I would say in terms of old world brand figuring out Web3, I would say they're the only one.
And they did it the right way.
They put the work in.
Yeah. I think Bobby tweeted like he's been in this NFT space for like 18 months, which is equivalent of like 100 years to be in brick and mortar.
Yeah.
Right? But they like partnered with Bored Ape Yacht Club early and did merch with them. And NFTs, I think people smoke out the celebs who just try to like throw in a NFT and try to like do a cash grab. And they clearly resonate with the community. And the Hundreds, which obviously means a lot to like the streetwear world and all people like us who've been in this industry for so long. And to be able to last this long and then get hot again.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
It's unreal. So congrats, Bobby and Ben.
Yeah, that is. He's actually going to come on the podcast. We've been talking about it. And then he was, he posted on Christmas Day. I responded to like 6,000 people on his text, I think community or whatever he uses. And so I responded, I'm like, oh, your wife must be thrilled. And he goes, well, for Christmas, she got me a book, Burnout. Because I literally was thinking, I'm like, the amount of effort Bobby has been putting into building the community online. I know, because, you know, to put that kind of effort day in, day out. Every time I go on Twitter or Instagram, he's like pumping something else, having a talk, doing, it's insane.
Yeah.
It's so much fucking work. And every day someone's like, oh, I met with Bobby. I was like, fuck, this guy's putting, and then, you know, obviously he has kids, he's married. It's not like he's just a young dude just pumping out NFTs. It's, you know, big credit to him because it takes a lot of effort.
They feel hotter than ever right now.
Yeah, they definitely feel like they're back to their roots in terms of like being culturally relevant, which is awesome. My winner, which, you know, last week was the loser company of the year, Facebook. I'm all in on Meta. I fucking love Meta. I'm a big Oculus guy. I think this guy is just going to fuck Web3 in the ass.
There you go.
He's going to be, I don't see a world where any company on earth is going to beat Mark Zuckerberg at Web3. He changed his name. He's all in. He'll burn Instagram and WhatsApp to the ground to figure this out. He knows. And, you know, Mark Andreessen is on his board.
Yeah.
He has a peek into what the fuck is going on. You know, he's probably an LP in A16. And he probably sees every investment. He knows where the future is going. And he's probably sitting down with all those people all day. And he's like, okay, I'll find my little piece.
Mm-hmm. It's a good one.
Who's your loser?
My loser is actually the Fast and Furious franchise.
I don't like that at all. I take that offense.
So we know that Vin Diesel and The Rock have had beef.
Yeah.
And The Rock, I guess, officially said there's zero chance he's coming back.
What?
And Vin Diesel posted on Instagram, I actually don't know when, it might have been a little bit ago, like posting like, you know, my kid's Uncle Dwayne, blah, 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 and something about Paul Walker. And then The Rock, I think today, just came out and said, this level of manipulation is insane. Don't bring your kids into it. I've made this crystal clear months ago that I'm not coming back. And you're basically trying to make me look like the bad guy.
Wow.
And went off on Vin Diesel.
Wow. That's insane. I looked just now on Twitter, number one trending is Vin Diesel.
Yeah. Because
Wow.
I think he was basically like, I don't want to be the bad guy. Because Vin Diesel's making him look like the bad guy.
Yeah.
Like, my kids love you, blah, blah, blah. And The Rock basically didn't like what was cooking.
Yeah. What Vin Diesel was cooking. Yeah, I would not fuck with The Rock. The Rock's the people's champ. Like, he's just too likable, he's one of those people, like, you mention The Rock to anyone, everybody loves.
Yeah.
I've never met a person that dislikes The Rock. Have you ever talked to anyone who goes, I hate The Rock?
No. The Rock's beloved.
I would say he's the only beloved figure in America.
The Rock, huh?
Name someone. No athlete.
No, yeah, because there's always an athlete beats someone's other team.
Favorite player, favorite team.
So it can't be an athlete.
Yeah.
It's not Tom Brady.
Definitely not.
Is there any artist?
Kanye is the biggest, and he's not beloved.
Kanye's not beloved. Maybe.
He's it.
Leo?
Beloved? And people like Leo. But he's not beloved.
And The Rock.
Rock is like...
The Rock, I have no idea what he's like personally, but he feels like your homie.
Yeah, I've interacted with him twice, and nicest fucking guy.
Yeah. Yeah, he seems like the guy you want to be friends with.
Yeah,
you know that line, who can you go have a beer with?
Yeah.
That's what you want present? You want to go have a beer with The Rock.
I want to grab a tequila with him.
Yeah, he has one, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. And I can't believe that Rock is no longer going to be in the franchise.
Because you think about it, it's two guys that don't need the money. They're both richer than shit, right? And I don't know. I wonder why Vin Diesel did that publicly when it appears, if you believe the Rock side, he told them like it's not happening. And this was just like a last ditch effort.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
My loser is everyone's arch nemesis, Ghislaine Maxwell. Does anyone like her? She the most hated person?
You got to believe Epstein's got to be more hated, but he's not alive.
Yeah. Of someone that's alive, is she the most... Like, there's no one that goes, I really like Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah. I wouldn't think so.
No, I mean, you're sick in the head if you like her. So she was found guilty. The interesting thing is, like, they are... so I'm reading this, tweet about this case, and there apparently that the FBI uncovered 20,000 images from Epstein's mansion in Manhattan. That's insane. 20,000 images. Okay. Multiple hard drives, multiple CD-ROMs. They are now sealed. So like this trial happened pretty quickly. They found her guilty pretty quickly. And there's no names being mentioned.
There will never be names mentioned.
Yeah. Because there's so many people involved.
Too big to fail.
Yeah.
This is the exact what exactly what too big to fail is.
Yeah.
You can't take down Bill Gates, Bill Clinton, Donald Trump. Like, society's over. You take all those guys down.
Yeah. Well, do you think those guys are hanky-panky?
Well, they've all been associated with them.
Yeah.
If you have all the kind of power brokers of the last 25 years, all in those images,
Yeah.
society will lose complete belief in anything.
So you think it's like one of those movies where like at all costs we must protect what's the information because we as society will crumble.
There's no other reason we haven't heard any details about anyone.
But does society really crumble? Is anyone shocked at this point?
I don't think anyone would be shocked, but I think it would just be bad for American morale.
Like loses faith in the institution?
Yeah. It's everyone.
Yeah. That's the problem. This guy was really in these streets.
I still don't get how he's able to do it.
It's just mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. Content recommendations.
I'm going with the BCS that's kicking off tomorrow, I think. Michigan, Cincinnati.
Okay.
And then Alabama, Georgia. No, Alabama, Cincinnati, Michigan, Georgia. Sorry.
That's New Year's Eve?
Both games are Friday tomorrow. One's at Alabama, Cincinnati's at 12:30 Pacific.
Wow. I did not know this.
Michigan, Georgia, 4:30 Pacific.
Not on January 1st?
No, because a week later they play the national title game.
But like the first is the day you want to be hungover just watching football.
Yeah, so
that's exciting.
BCS games.
That's big.
You know, the college football
is Blockbuster.
Specifically, it's like, I think one of the purest things in sports, because 90% aren't going to have NFL careers, but the passion and energy that you see in these types of games, and the emotion,
it's fun.
How happy they get if like it
or
gets
sad,
or sad, and it's like the last purity of sports before the ones who make it all become millionaires and become just
motivated by money. Yeah. That's a good one. My content recommendation, actually, I have two. I have a few. One is you were talking about the Juice WRLD documentary.
Yeah, did you watch it?
I watched it. Very sad.
Yeah.
I actually don't think anyone under 25 should watch it. I'll tell you why. The amount of drug usage.
It was insanity.
Every idiot cameraman, photographer, the girlfriend, the homies, everyone's on drugs all day.
Yeah.
Everyone's buying drugs. Everyone's using drugs.
I guess because I'm 38 years old, I didn't even think about that.
Because you know what? Even though we can discern that this is bad, I think if you're a young person and you watch it, you're like, oh, Juice WRLD? I've said a few years ago, I thought he was like and he came out. I was like, this is one of the best artists I've ever heard. And I even said, if I could buy any catalog, I would buy Juice WRLD's catalog. Such a fucking incredible artist. I watched his documentary and I was like, I hope no kids watch this thing.
Yeah, I watched it and I thought it was just great from a art perspective.
Yeah.
Like the way they captured. Like it's 2 hours, I think.
Yeah.
I feel like I understand who he was, what he meant.
Yeah.
How big he could have been and all the flaws as well.
Yeah.
Like you get a full capture of like who he is.
And and look, musically, the guy was so freaking talented.
I didn't know he had that freestyle and ability.
Yeah. Do you understand? He was 21, how much music he put out? If you listened to his top 25 songs, you've heard all of them. It's like insane how much music, the high quality music this guy put out.
And unfortunately, with the amount of consumption we saw in the documentary, and I know there's like, it's a little unclear. Did he swallow the pills on the plane so he doesn't get arrested?
I saw your boy Kid Laroi. He didn't look too good in that.
Kid Laroi was on the plane.
Yeah, Kid Laroi in the documentary didn't look too good either.
Meaning like he's clearly part of this like drug consumption world.
Yeah.
If he was around Juice, I mean, how young was he?
Yeah.
When did Juice die?
2019.
2019. Kid Laroi just celebrated his 18th birthday in 2021.
Yeah. He was literally a kid.
He was definitely a kid.
Yeah.
But my point was gonna be like, it didn't look everyone was enabling.
Yeah.
It didn't look like there was an intervention coming anytime soon.
No. Dude, that freaking videographer was like, oh, I'll do one.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
the amount of codeine.
It was so painful to watch. Cocaine, pills, this. I'm just like, dude.
I can't believe they documented all this.
I mean, I'm glad it's on HBO Max because I feel like young people don't watch HBO.
I don't know. With as big as this guy, as big as Juice WRLD was, like, don't you think young people are going to figure out how to rip it?
Yeah,
on somewhere on the internet?
I'm sure it'll be on Netflix one day, and it'll be like the most watched freaking documentary. But that part really bothered me. The other documentary is The Curse of Von Dutch, and it's the story of Von Dutch, and there's a bunch of characters in there that I was not familiar with the Von Dutch story, but they did touch on Christian Audigier, who ended up starting Ed Hardy after Tracy Mills, who was involved in that story too. And, we got to see it firsthand. Incredible documentary, like very entertaining, bizarre kind of ending to the story. Also kind of sad, but definitely worth watching. And then, did I talk about it? We already talked about Don't Look Up. I think on a few days ago. Most controversial movie of the year. I love it. I think it's incredible, hysterical, very entertaining. But it's for it makes you think. It's definitely worth. I think I talked about it on.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, but I think you should watch all those.
Okay.
Any shout outs?
Yeah, we have one from Jonathan Nahar, who actually he makes our TikToks now.
Awesome.
He said, "I want to give myself a shout out for my birthday. New Year's, baby. Can't wait to see what 2022 has in store for group chat."
Awesome.
Great. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. So New Year's Eve, New Year's Day or New Year's Eve birthday?
New Year's Day.
Nice. That's a tough birthday.
Yeah.
Everyone's tired.
1st.
Probably struggling.
That's right. You got to go out on the 31st. You can never go out on the 1st. Happy birthday, bro. And thanks for all your help.
Yeah.
Other than that, have a happy, healthy, safe New Year. If you're out in these streets, be careful, enjoy, have fun. And then 2022, we'll see you in 2022. See you in the Discord.
Yeah.
See you in the metaverse.
See you on TikTok.
See you on TikTok.
Come talk some shit on our comments on TikTok.
Yeah.
Helps our engagement.
Yeah. If you have shit to talk to it on TikTok.
Yeah, get a burner account. We don't even need to know who you are.
Yeah. All engagement is good. All right, guys. Happy New Year and see you on the flip side.